It's day 2 of Digestive Disease Week 2022. I'm Courtney Jasmine with DDW TV, supported by Fairing. We had an amazing kickoff here in San Diego. The energy was infectious, and it's clear we've missed seeing each other's faces. Let's take a look back from the highlights of day 1.
I'm Ed Highland, and this is DDW TV. It is day 1 of DDW 2022, and already we have news about a possible contributing factor to IBD.
First of all, I'm so excited to be here at DDW, and we're very excited about our presentation looking at antibiotic use in older adults with new onset IBD. And we basically found that any antibiotic use was associated with the development of inflammatory bowel disease in older adults, and that the more courses utilized, actually the higher risk of developing inflammatory bowel disease. And we did subsequent analyses looking at specific classes and also timing, which we're very excited to be reporting on tomorrow.
And of course, there is much more going on here at DDW 2022. Let's take a look.
It's absolutely wonderful. We live in a world that's changed drastically in the last 2 years, and it's really nice to see people in person, interact live.
I'm learning all kinds of things in a whole big department in a huge healthcare system. We have like 40 some hospitals and everything. Coming in here, eyes open, and looking forward to learning a lot.
This event actually highlights a lot of the current research going on, and when studying the gut microbiome, it's good to be up to date on best practices and what's going on in the field so we can expand our knowledge and modify our research if necessary.
So the cleanup, as you can see, is well underway. The booths are ready and the show floor opens Sunday. We'll be here to bring you all of the highlights of DDW 2022. I'm Ed Highland for DDW TV.
Definitely a full day of activity. Sunday promises to be just as engaging. Here's what's in store. If you're registering for the conference today, you can get your badge starting at 7 a.m. Scientific sessions begin at 8, and at 9:30, head to our exhibit hall. We have GI companies from pharmaceutical, device, instrumentation, nutrition, technology, and software sectors of our field. These exhibitors want to hear what's important to you, so find a good time to stop by and see what's new and learn what's coming down the pipeline. And when you can, step outside and visit the Crohn's and Colitis Poop Up Experience. Just look for the giant inflatable poop emoji. Our virtual attendees should make note of our live stream opportunities throughout the day. In addition to top scientific sessions, select product theater presentations will be available for viewing on our virtual platform.
Hi, once again, I'm Ed Highland, and welcome back to DDW TV. And I'm joined now by AASLD President Lori DeLev. Thank you so much for coming by and joining us.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit, it's been an exciting time for many reasons over the last couple of years, but your term as president, how's it been?
Oh, it's fabulous. So I've been heavily involved with AASLD my whole professional career, and it's my professional home. I love the members of AASLD. I love our staff. They're warm, they're engaged, they're collegial. It's just a fun place to work with. And so now I get to be president and see even more of our members and our staff.
Tell us a little bit about what your priorities are as president and the organization's priorities as well.
So I think we offer a really strong product, if you want to call it that, in the way of science and education for our members. So we want to keep that going. But in addition, we're adding new things. So one of the big things is DDW. We have completely overhauled that. We had a task force, and it had members of our clinical hepatologists, our APPs, our trainees in there, as well as scientists. And so we've completely overhauled our contribution to the meeting. We've added, for our trainees, we have career options in hepatology. We've added more academic debates, Stump the Expert. For our APPs, they asked for practice skills. And so we're doing FibroScan training, which is a big deal both for our APPs as well as our members. And I think if that's really popular here, which I expect, we're going to be doing that at the liver meeting as well. We have Stump the Expert, which I think will be popular.
I want to talk about that in just a second.
Happy to do that. Shark Tank, which I think will be very popular, that's coming up. And then we've changed the way we're doing our science presentations. So we've cut our number of presentations down by about a third, and they'll all be in one room. So instead of people doing 3-4 years of science and then getting stuck in a room in the middle of nowhere, it'll all be in one big plenary room. 5 talks per group of session with an introductory talk on the topic, and then basic science, clinical, and translational all in each separate section. So it gives our attendees a chance to hear a variety of topics, but it gives the presenters a chance to really present at a plenary session. So this has resulted in record-setting attendance for us. We have 1,000 people registered.
That's great. It is great news, especially coming out of the COVID years, so to speak.
Exactly.
And it's wonderful to see so many people from so many different places. And it also kind of brings to mind another priority that I know you have been heavily involved in, which is becoming more inclusive as a group.
Exactly true. So we added an LGBTQ task force this year to address both our members' needs as well as our patient needs, because that's something we really haven't looked at. We may be doing research in that area as well, but we have 2 working groups looking at that. And then for our underrepresented minorities, our Inter-Society Group of Diversity brought to us the AMOS Training for Leadership Skills, which is part of the Robert Wood Johnson's Foundation. And this program has an amazing track record in training people to become leaders in the field. If you look, they're luminaries. And so it will, not only are you training one person, but you are giving them the opportunity to bring others along once they've hit leadership positions. So we're very excited as AASLD that we will from now on always have an AASLD AMOS fellow.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the need and the desire to be a member. Why is it important? You've touched on a couple of points, all the different priorities, but I mean, what about the individual? Why is it important for them to be a part of this organization?
Well, so you can start from the selfish perspective. You save money if you're going to go to the meeting. So this gives you a chance to get discounts on going to the meeting, journals, but it also gives you a chance to network as part of the SIGs, the committees. And networking is important. Whether you're in clinical practice or doing research, you want to know your peers. It gives you opportunities in education that you wouldn't otherwise have, and mentoring is being a mentor as well as getting mentoring opportunities.
I have so many questions. We have so little time, but I wanted to just get a chance to talk about the academic debates. There's so many aspects of that too, but the academic debates, getting a chance to really talk about research, whatever the subject material would like to be, really on a very personal level.
So, I mean, the wonderful thing about academic debates is I'm sure you've learned, you take a controversial topic and you hear 2 sides to the argument, and you get to work through what you believe. And it's always very, very popular. We usually have good people doing this.
Lori DeLev, thank you so much for coming by and sharing with us today.
Thank you, Ed. Pleasure meeting you.
And this is DDW TV. If you'd like to see more about what's happening here during DDW, the week where everyone is getting together, it's ddw.org. Hi, I'm Ed Highland. This is DDW TV, and I have the great honor of being joined now by AGA President John Inadomi. Thank you so much for coming by and joining us. I want to talk about your plenary session, obviously a subject near and dear to your heart. And you talked a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion in our field. Can you share some of the takeaways from that session?
Sure, thanks. I think that the most important part is, it's my grandfather's motto, which is don't talk, act. I think we're way beyond the time where we just need to raise awareness of racism, inequities. I think it's time for action. And I think that's what I really want to get through and come through in my plenary session. I'm not going to go into detail now, but I have the 5 Ds, ways to actually interact and disrupt harassment of people who are, when you see racism. I think this is something quite actionable. The other thing I want to do is I realize that all of us have certain unconscious biases. And I want to try to get people to raise their unconscious to conscious bias so they can actually purposely choose to be racist or hopefully anti-racist. And those are the main themes of my talk.
Does this also include members being perhaps ambassadors, spreading the message of inclusion and the need for diversity?
Exactly. I hope that, this is a more than science, right? This is beyond the field of gastroenterology, hepatology. This is something I believe that we can lead in. And as an organization, I want to be able to provide that kind of standard by which our members can actually become ambassadors for anti-racism.
How can GIs take action to increase DEI in gastroenterology?
Yeah, sure. So actually the plenary session will have a variety of speakers. One will be in particular Dr. Monica Webb-Hooper from the NIH. And increasing minority participation in clinical trials is a huge thing. Right now the problem is that we have all these very homogeneous populations in clinical trials. I mean, if we don't actually include our minority populations, we never really know how they react to the certain medications and such.
And is this an increasing problem as we become a more diverse community and talk about the United States and the world in general?
Yes, definitely. You're right. Hit the nail on the head. This is a problem that's increasing, and it's something we have to embrace and something we have to really understand and get ahead of. I think, again, what the AGA wants to do is provide that platform so we can reduce those disparities based on sex or race, and actually increase the diversity of the workforce as well. Not just caring for our patients, but also ensuring that the people in our workforce are a diverse population.
And you're asking people to actually do a little more work, because you have to reach out to the communities to make sure you are able to involve a more diverse, whether it's a study or a patient group.
Yeah, I agree. So, that only about 20% of a person's well-being or even quality of life or even life expectancy is based on their health care. 80% are the social determinants of health. And if we're going to be actually improving the health of the population, if we're actually going to get, as we say, a world free of digestive disease, we have to go beyond what just that 20% of healthcare. We've got to expand to those other social determinants of health that we really impact our patients, including wealth and poverty, food security, and job security, those kinds of things. Those are really important aspects that we'll have to get a hold of.
As your presidency comes to an end, what are you going to take away from this experience? As we were chatting before, this has been a 4-year commitment for you, not just being president for 1 year, but a 4-year commitment.
Yeah, in many ways, it's a little bit sad. I've been part of the AGA committees and for 30 years, and now it's like the end of the line. It's like, what else do I do, right? But at this point, I think it's time for me to give back. Right? I've done a lot of these things that's really helped my career. I've built my network. And at this point, I really feel like it's my job to then pass the baton to the next generation, the next group of gastroenterologists and hepatologists that will lead the AGA forward.
And just as a final quick question, could you give us an idea on why should GI professionals become members of AGA? Make that pitch for the commercial, if you will.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's the same thing that I have some of my best friends I've met through the AGA. People around the world you never would have met unless it's part of the organization. And the other part is, again, a lot for me, developing my career. And probably the most important is giving back and realizing that in the AGA, you have a voice, not just a national but international voice, where you can actually make a difference. And we have several examples of what we can give, but I won't get details, but you can really give back. You can really make a difference. And it's something you can do outside of your own home institution. And you can only do that through an organization like the AGA.
John and Ndome, thank you so much for chatting with us and also for your service to AGA.
It's my pleasure. Thanks so much.
This is DDW TV. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to see other video highlights, be sure to check out the webpage.
Our vision is to be the most innovative single-use endoscopy company in the world. We believe there is a better way to do endoscopy. We believe patients and healthcare systems deserve a solution which is sterile, which provides convenience, flexibility, and attractive economics. One that leverages the technologies of the future. Ambu, forever forward.
Hi, I'm Ed Highland. This is DDW TV, and I have the pleasure of being joined now by ASGE President Douglas Rex. Dr. Rex, thanks so much for coming by.
Pleasure to be here.
We want to talk about your tenure as president. Have you had a good time?
It's been a really good time. It's been very smooth. We haven't had any sort of drama, and we've really been able to focus on improving services for our members. Education and training is the fundamental part of that. But yeah, it's been a really delightful time, and we brought a lot of new things, including live endoscopy programs, which are also going on here at DDW. It's been very exciting.
Talk a little bit about the organization's top priorities. What are you really trying to, what message are you sending to the world, so to speak?
Sure, well, it's the American Society for Gastrointestinal Endoscopy, so we're all about endoscopy, and the core of that is education and training, both for practicing endoscopists as well as for gastroenterology fellows. But we also are advocating for the interests of our endoscopists. That has to do with both advocacy in Washington, D.C., from both a legal and a regulatory aspect. So if it has to do with endoscopy, we consider it the business of ASGE.
Let's talk a little bit about innovation, because there is a great deal of discussion, especially here during DDW. Talk a little bit about the innovation, some of the new things that are coming on board, and what you're learning as a practitioner.
There are a lot of things going on. Probably one of the biggest areas is artificial intelligence. So we've seen the introduction of programs that help highlight colon polyps, and we are seeing scientific research, and eventually we're going to see in practice programs that will predict the histology of lesions in the GI tract, and also assess the quality of how well we're examining the colon during colonoscopy. And we are in the area of resection. We're seeing new devices that can help close up defects after we remove things so that we reduce complications. And then in the areas of advanced endoscopy, just lots of new information on POEM, GPOEM, ESD. Really the advanced endoscopists are making new and exciting breakthroughs all the time.
One of the concerns that always seems to come up, especially in these days, is there is so much information, there is so much innovation that is coming along so quickly. It's I don't know about difficult to keep up, but it's you want to keep up. And so how do you, as a professional, as a doctor, get into what is happening and how you can make sure you have, the most cutting edge treatments and therapies for your patients?
Sure. So, we have with ASG, we have a variety of services that help with this. For example, in terms of reviewing the recent medical literature, which is so extensive, there's so many journals, so many articles coming out each week. We have a weekly email publication that we call Journal Scan, where we summarize the most pertinent literature that's available. Then we have a huge educational platform that people can access via our website that we call GI Leap, and it's possible to go in there and search that educational platform full of videos with search terms that are specific for what you want to learn about. So you can actually see the techniques that you want to learn being performed. And of course, the extension of that is to get involved in actual hands-on training. And we offer that also through our courses at the ITT Center in Chicago.
And all of the above seems to be the answer to why is it important to be a member of ASGE?
Yeah, I think for gastroenterologists, endoscopy is for many of us such a huge part of our practice, and this is the organization for endoscopists, both general endoscopists who do primarily upper endoscopy and colonoscopy, but also advanced endoscopists doing ERCP, EUS, and third space endoscopy. We want to serve the interests and educate and train both sets of endoscopists.
Dr. Rex, thank you so much for coming by and joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. This is DDW TV, and for more information, see more videos as well, ddw.org.
If your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms are stopping you in your tracks, choose Stelara from the start and move toward lasting remission. Stelara can provide relief after the first dose. And only Stelara offers injections every 2 months, which you may be able to give yourself at home after just 1 IV dose. So instead of symptoms leaving you stuck with doubt, you can keep going with fewer flare-ups.
Stelara may increase your risk of infections, some serious, and cancer. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've had an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, new skin growths, have had cancer, or if you need a vaccine. PRES, a rare potentially fatal brain condition, may be possible. Some serious allergic reactions and lung inflammation can occur.
Feel unstoppable. Ask your doctor how lasting remission can start with Stelara. Janssen can help you explore cost support options.
We continue to learn more insights about what is happening here at DDW, and we're joined now by SSAT President Jean-Nicolas Fauteuil. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing with us. As President, tell us a little bit about your term and what is exciting you about the organization and being here.
Well, thank you very much for this interview. We are capping a great year because after 2 years of virtual encounters, we finally meet again in person. So this is absolutely fabulous for all members. And we're capping a great year, which has seen the expansion of the society with global outreach and in fact, new chapters, new SSAT chapters around the world. So we think that SSAT will become the major premier academic GI surgery society in the world with this expansion. We have around the year had great activities with our young trainees. They are fantastic, and also early career faculty. And our society will be anchoring and more developing these activities with our young trainees.
Interpersonal interaction, interagency, the groups getting together and really cross-networking, I guess you would say.
So the webinars have been a way to expand the society around the world, and also a way to connect the young trainees, residents and fellows throughout the years. A major activity of our society is the residents and fellow webinars, and there are about almost one a month throughout the year, and this will continue, and this group is very active. In fact, today we have almost a full day where we meet with our residents and fellows. They present papers. We get to know them. We discussed fabulous papers this morning, and we're going to continue this afternoon.
The presentation, the papers, the research has really been exciting, especially this year, but it also opens up the future as to what's going to be happening in the profession.
So the research is fantastic, and I would draw to your attention the plenary presentations tomorrow morning at the presidential plenary. There will be extraordinary presentation. The focus, in fact, seems to be colorectal cancer this year for this plenary presidential, with paper on circulating tumor DNA, early detection of colon cancer with stool-based testing of DNA methylation, and also a very interesting paper from Italy about the role of the prognosis and the role of macrophages in metastatic colorectal cancer.
So, kind of sum it up for us. People are gathering here from around the world to talk in San Diego, but at the same time, you're expanding your reach. So they're coming here, but at the same time, you're expanding your reach and going out to those who are interested in the research, those who are interested in becoming members of the organization.
So the membership continues to, in fact, increase. This is a very vibrant society because the membership is up. And this year, 28% of the new membership is international, not from the US or Canada, so that's a new membership for our society. And this will continue, I think, as an outreach, as also the world is opening again. I think this will allow for the travel also of SSAT members to these countries, and we have exchange grants now. We have reduced membership fees for low middle income countries. So we have funding for grants. So this is exciting.
A very exciting time. Jean-Nicolas Fauteuil, thank you so much for coming by
and
joining
very
us,
much.
telling us more about SSAT. And this is DDW TV. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
We want you to be prepared for all the excitement happening tomorrow. Here's what you can expect. Start your day by 8 a.m. with scientific sessions and get ready to walk the dynamic and interactive exhibit hall by 9:30. Plus, see demonstrations of what's new, now, and next in our field at this year's Product Theater. DDW is also committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we invite you to learn about the unique issues we are seeing in our field when it comes to diversity in academia and clinical practice. Join us for this session on Level 2, Room 23, and stay for reception immediately after, supported by Takeda Pharmaceuticals USA, Inc. With so much to see and do while at DDW, the best way to make sure you don't miss opportunities is by downloading our mobile app and visiting us online at news.ddw.org. And don't forget to tweet using the hashtag DDW2022. Thanks for watching. I'm Courtney Jones. We'll see you tomorrow for more DDW TV.